Prepare yourself for a talk radio experience like no other.
Strap yourselves in and hold on.
He stands for truth. He stands for justice. He stands for what's right. This is the Alex Jones Show. Call Alex now, toll free, at 877-590-5525. Now live from Austin, Texas, here's Alex Jones.
Hello, my friends. We're live. It is July 6, 2008. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours, as I'm here every Sunday with this Sunday edition that we syndicate across the land on the AM and FM dial, satellite, the internet at Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, and global shortwave. We have redesigned PrisonPlanet.com, but for those that like the old design of the site, we're updating that daily as well at classic.PrisonPlanet.com. You can go to PrisonPlanet.com itself and click on the banner that says Classic Prison Planet and check out that site as well. My new film, Truth Rising, was released on July 4th, and we are getting emails pouring in, people saying it is our best work. More on that coming up later. Here's what I want to do. I have got 5 big stacks of important news. I'm going to mention some of that now and cover it throughout the next 2 hours, but I want to take a lot of calls today, and that means have your question, your comment ready. If you have a question for me about the private Federal Reserve or about why gas prices are up, or you disagree with something I've said, or you want to add something to a point I'm making, or you want to mention something that you saw in your local news that you think is important, or international news, it is just total free-for-all today. Toll-free number to join us, 877-590-5525, 877-590-5525. Unlike fake-controlled neocon, fake conservative shows that really aren't conservative, or the establishment liberal programs, we don't screen your calls. We want to know your name, where you're calling from, and if you volunteer that you disagree, go to the head of the line. In fact, that even trumps people that volunteer that they're first-time callers, and I try to go to them first as well. So 877-590-5525, or if you happen to be listening in Central Texas to the station that we syndicate out of, and a lot of people listen to us on, News Radio 590 KLBJ, it is 836-0590. Okay, here are the stacks of news I have. Let me just read you some of these headlines. High gas prices threaten to shut down rural towns, USA Today. And I have a lot of family that lives in the country, in East Texas, and I knew a year ago that it was really hurting a lot of the local businesses and people that have to commute. A lot of people aren't going on vacations now, working class folks, because of the gas prices, and that was a year ago. It is crippling our society because, like it or not, we're a sprawling society. We are distributed across the land more than, say, Europe, where they have these highly compact urban centers. That we are a new world country, and so it's more spread out, built around the automobile. And I'm going to tell you, the gas prices are hurting every business out there, not just people selling gas, because it's costing everyone in the economy, and they have less discretionary income. So we'll talk about that. Really big news. I interviewed Congressman Ron Paul Thursday, and it ended up getting picked up by some newspapers and other publications. I had no idea. I got back this afternoon, was checking the web and saw that his interview got some headlines with me Thursday, and it should have. Ron Paul, I hear members of Congress saying, if we could only nuke Iran, Congressman warns of imminent confrontation. So I want to go over that secondarily today and stress how serious that is. Also, stories like this one. London cops use knife crime as an excuse to conduct random searches that violate due process that the British also have under Magna Carta, similar to our Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Bill of Rights and Constitution. Now, you can type in Britain proposes registering knives, and they've been proposing registering knives as if that's going to cut back on crime. You can't stop criminals. It only restricts good citizens. Speaking of violations of the Fourth Amendment, Texas lawyer takes on bloodthirsty cops from PrisonPlanet.com. The feds have federal grants out, and some areas they take blood without warrants, and others it's a kangaroo I interviewed the head of the Texas Bar Association a few weeks ago about this. Clearly, these are kangaroo warrants. They're just blank check warrants, and they've been losing in court on this, but they don't care. But the problem is that police are sticking hemophiliacs. They start bleeding everywhere because they have thin blood. They're also trying to take blood from diabetics and then aren't able to get it. It's just a major threshold they're passing. Why do the feds want this? It's not about stopping drunk drivers, folks. Prescription drugs kill 300,000 people, or more than 10 times what drunk drivers kill every year. Why aren't they talking about shutting that down? Also, you can't make this type of stuff up. News Channel 10, CBS, out of Amarillo, Texas, and I'm just going to play a few seconds of this. I'm not going to play the whole newscast. We've got links to their site up on prisonplanet.com if you want to watch it. But when I read headlines like this, I think some of you may not believe me. It's so incredible. So let's go ahead and just play 10 seconds of the FBI could investigate you without a warrant, without probable cause, without even thinking you've done anything wrong. Go ahead and play that. Oh, they put new password systems on the computers that relaunch every 10 seconds. Oh, we can't play it. We got to start putting those on disk. We can't do this anymore because it's just these computers. Okay, here it is. Go ahead and roll it for people out there that are...
FBI agents could soon be allowed to investigate Americans without any evidence of wrongdoing, according to the Justice Department. News Channel 10's Kristen Gilfus joins us live in the studio with what FBI agents would be looking for. Kristen.
Walt, Justice Department officials say FBI agents would rely on a terrorist profile that could single out Muslims, Arabs, or any other racial groups.
Okay, that's
Randall
enough.
County District.
You can watch the rest of it. Now, that's out of Amarillo, Texas. Now, you hear that and you think, thank God, we need to profile people because they search old ladies, they search and harass old men with oxygen tanks, going to World War II memorial events. I saw them harassing old Pearl Harbor vets about 4 years ago in the San Francisco airport when I was flying out. I saw them getting on planes to Hawaii, and they were really going over people that were on walkers that looked like they were on the edge of death. And people say it's just mindless. They treat us all like terrorists. Well, you've been trained now to live under that, and it's been used as a pretext. But when you actually look at the profiling, federal marshals last year, in fact, some senior ones with their union, from the Denver Post first broke it, are ordered to put millions of Americans in these databases a year for ordering vegetarian on an airplane or taking a photograph out the window of the plane, which I thought everybody does. Small children are put in terrorist databases for life, and now it's swollen to several million people in the terrorist database. You have all the major banks uploading your financial information, guilty until proven innocent. All of that violates the Fourth Amendment and has nothing to do with, quote, keeping you safe from terrorism. They're using terrorism as a pretext to take our liberties and freedoms. Also, we have another little clip we'll play later where Homeland Security is proposing that everyone who gets on an airplane be fitted with an electronic shock bracelet. Now, a company was proposing this a few years ago, but now Homeland Security says, yes, you'll all be guilty until proven innocent, and you will wear taser bracelets on your arms, which makes you all criminals, all guilty until proven innocent. I mean, that's something out of The Running Man. But even The Running Man, it was only prisoners that wore bracelets around their necks. Now it's going to be everybody. Just like in England, they're proposing making anyone who's even on probation have an implantable microchip. Source on that, British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC. So on this post-July 4th, as we're thinking about our liberties and freedoms, you know, I was visiting family in around Buffalo, Texas. We went to a nearby rodeo in Teague, Texas. I love those amateur rodeos. I mean, sometimes it's a lot better than even the Star of Texas or some big professional one because it's brutal. The cow mugging, the cow milking, the roping, the bull riding, it was crazy. And when we get back, I'm going to briefly tell you their idea of patriotism on July 5th when I was there last night watching the rodeo with my children. And, I mean, it was like 10 minutes of indoctrination, but never anything about what this country stands for. That's what we fight and die for, and that's what's being destroyed. We'll be right back with your phone calls, a ton of other news, right here on the Sunday edition.